My name is Zukiswa Wanner. I'm a writer, editor, publisher, and curator who considers the African continent my home. In 2020, I became the first woman on my continent to receive the Goethe Medal alongside Bolivian artist and museum director Elvira Espejo Aika and writer Ian McEwan from the United Kingdom. While the Goethe Medal is conferred by the Goethe Institute to non-Germans who have performed outstanding service for international cultural relations, it's important to note that the award is an official declaration of the Federal Republic of Germany. I note and appreciate Goethe Institute President Carola Lenz's statement from an article of 14 January 2024 in The Spiegel, where she says, and I quote, "Long-standing partners in the international cultural world are losing trust in the liberality of Germany's democracy and poses the question, should the AKPB support only those of the groups who accommodates the political or moral agenda of the respective German government?" She concludes otherwise and notes that organizations like Goethe Institute must not become the extended arm of the government, particularly in difficult political times. In the same vein, Goethe Institute Johannesburg, which is the regional headquarters for sub-Saharan Africa, stated in a statement on 7th February 2024, as to the current war in Gaza, we are convinced that in view of the catastrophic situation, a new ceasefire is urgently needed. The rising number of civilians victims is unacceptable. It is important to state that I highlight that this is not a statement surrendering the medal because of the Goethe Institute and its position, even when we may not always agree. I mentioned the Goethe Institute statement by way of explaining that my actions are not a critique of the cultural institution, but rather of the government. In May 2023, while attending Palestine Festival of Literature and months before October 7, I was in the occupied Palestinian territories and traveled to Ramallah, Nabi Saleh, East Jerusalem, Hebron, and Lead. As a writer coming from a country with a history of apartheid, what I experienced shook me and resulted in my writing a long essay, The Myths of a People in an Apartheid State, which has since been translated into Portuguese, Spanish, French, with an Arabic translation coming up. One did not need to be from a country with a history of apartheid to see the daily injustices and indignities visited on Palestinians. Palestinians have separate roads, different number plates, and are constantly under threat from strangers from the United States or white South Africans with apartheid nostalgia who come with guns and the protection of Israeli Defense Forces to settle in their homes. Indeed, unlike most literature festivals, Palfest takes the writers to multiple cities since Palestinians are unable to travel without permission from Israel, much like South Africa during apartheid, just more cruel. This is why I'm giving up the medal. I understand Germany's guilt for the Holocaust. I do. That guilt is appropriate and has enabled Germany to face its unconscionable past. But it is this that makes its position on a current genocide in Palestine all the more shameful. As an aside and as an African, I wish the German government exhibited the same regret for their history in Namibia with the Herero Nama genocide and for the genocide during the Maji Maji rebellion in Tanzania. Equally important, I wish that the German government, in reflection and saying never again, would acknowledge that never again should be for anybody. Instead, what I see is Germany being on the wrong side of a genocide again, as per International Court of Justice provisional ruling to the case brought by South Africa. Additionally, according to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, Federal Republic of Germany and United States of America are the biggest arms exporters to Israel. With more than 30,000 killed in Gaza, this should have been a mea culpa moment for the Federal Republic of Germany. Instead, they seem to have doubled up for their support for a very problematic government. Culturally, since October 7, 2023, I have seen Germany disengaging from artists for their position on the colonial state, that is Israel. even in light of Israel's failures to adhere to the Oslo Accord, which was a super mediocre document for Palestinians. I'm reading that of the cultural events cancelled by Germany, 30% are by Jewish artists or anti-Zionists. This has failed to make sense to me, that Jews can be considered anti-Semitic. Obviously, ignoring that Palestinians are a Semitic people, as those in support of the Israeli government seem to do. More recently, during the Berlin Film Festival, Palestinian filmmaker Bezel Adra and Israeli journalist Yuval Abraham won Best Documentary for their film, No Other Lands, which shows the eradication of Palestinian villages in the West Bank. The German cultural minister is reported to have stated our applause was only for the Israeli half of the filmmaking duo. South African history has a phrase for this: petty apartheid. I thus find myself unable to stay silent or keep an official declaration from a government that is callous to human suffering. And I am handing back. This is the medal. Thank you.